The following is a presentation of Power 107.5 FM Sports. It's time for Faith in Football, brought to you by Allstate Insurance Agent Miguel Corona and Papa Dubi's in Albertville. Our host, Barry Galloway, will be joined by Aggie head coach Adam Weingarten to talk about life, faith, and football. Faith in Football is brought to you by Baugh Motorsports, owned by Dusty and Amanda Baugh, GWE Maintenance, Anna Weathersmith, Main Street Realty, Albertville Discount Pharmacy, Foodland Plus of Albertville, J. Leonard Hindering Company, and Jacob Underwood at Sand Mountain Toyota. Let's go live to Papa Dubi's in Albertville.
So, you know, guys, Keith's here, John's here, Chris, I'm sure Chris is at Sand Mountain Park or somewhere. But I'm glad we got the coaches show back. We did this a few years ago. We're at a different place. We're at Papa Dubi's. Thank you very much to Will Younghouse, and thank you to Miguel Corona, who reached out to us and said, hey, we need to bring the coaches show back. I said, well, let's make it happen. He made a call or two and said, Papa Dubi said, we'd love to have you here. I said, well, I'd love to be at Papa Dubi's because I love eating at Papa Dubi's. What about you, John?
Dad, you don't get this good-looking physique by not coming to Papa Dubi's now. I'm just saying.
And Coach Weingarten joining us. Coach, thank you for joining us.
I'm ready for the Cajun mac and cheese and shrimp.
That sounds good too.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
So you a fan of Papa Dubi's?
Oh, 100%. This place is fantastic.
Well, Coach, first of all, when this was a pitch to you, what were your thoughts on bringing the coaches show out kind of on the road a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think anything that helps promote our school, our community, our student athletes, I think it's really positive. And everybody only has so much time in the day and schedule, and so the thought was if we can figure out how to fit it in and highlight our kids and our team, and I think it would be fantastic for our community.
And I think you'll agree with this. We talked about trying to find a night to make this work, and I know your schedule's busy, ours busy. We do a lot of flag football games this year for the first time on the radio. Had a game, Albertville won last night. So we looked at Wednesdays, and we said, some called it's church night for many, but what if we, kind of like last week, we'll talk football for a while, then we'll talk maybe some inspirational talk, faith, and we came up with faith and football. So we're going to give you a lot of football talk, and then towards the last part of the show, Lynn Darnell will be joining us, and we're going to be talking more about inspiring things that you can talk about, we can talk about, and Lynn Darnell can help us with, John.
Amen. I called Lynn the other day, and I didn't know exactly how to put it. I just said, Lynn, I got a religified question. And he's like, all right, hit me with it. So I didn't – he said, first of all, religified, is that a word? And I said, it is today.
It is in Alabama. Lynn's our preacher at Solitude Baptist, and we're so blessed to have him there. We were Brother Joey was our pastor for I think he did 28 years, and so he recently retired and stepped back, and Lynn's has come on, and he's just a fantastic man and does a really good job.
And Coach Weingarten, you brought 3 players with you tonight, and I believe a coach will be joining you also. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Kellen Hampton, that plays center and plays defensive line, he's with us, and seniors, great young man, has been a really big instrument for our team. Jude Fan's with us, who plays strong safety and nickel, also plays some quarterback, had a really good game last week. And then Cam Bollinger is with us, plays receiver and plays safety, and explosive player on the team, and 3 seniors. And each week we do this, I want to bring different seniors on and let them have a chance to talk, and you guys ask them some questions.
Well, let's get into last week's game. Congratulations on the win over Paul Bryant. Give us your thoughts on the game.
Well, I mean, I think it was a great opening win for us. I thought, they were a quality team. They had, I thought they had great athletes on both sides of the ball. I thought it was a good test for us. We talked to our team all week. We didn't expect our team to play perfect, but we wanted to really dominate the game in effort. And we know the season is always a growing process. Each week you're trying to improve. Felt like we made the game a lot harder than it needed to be. I thought we had some definite chances in the first half, and then we got in third quarter, played a really good third quarter, extended the lead, and really had a chance to put the game away, and we didn't, So kind of let them hang around and then made some mistakes with the ball, and made it a little bit closer to the end than it needed to be. But at the end of the day, it's a win, and we'll take it, and we'll learn from it, and we'll move forward.
Just look at some of the plays. The crowd was electric to begin with. It didn't matter what was going to happen. They were into the game, but first snap offense, 95-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah.
The crowd, that was a pretty cool moment, seeing the crowd get that excited over that play. Yeah. That's the way to begin a season, Coach.
Yeah, it was a great play to start the year and exciting, and obviously got the crowd juiced up. We felt all week long that was going to be a big gainer for us, especially in the first play of the game, and we just didn't know it was going to be from the 4-yard line. We felt like it would probably be, closer to midfield, but we were going to stick with it anyway. And CJ made a good throw to Cam, and then Cam really made one guy miss, and then we had two really good blocks in the perimeter. And at that point, it became down to speed versus speed. And he outran the pursuit of the defense, and it was a big play for us. And credit to the rest of the guys on offense too that we didn't block behind the ball. I know everybody's excited, chasing the ball, and the want to is to contact somebody, but we were disciplined in that situation and did not block behind the ball, and everybody got the end zone and got to have a good celebration there.
Unfortunately, it didn't last long because the following kickoff they returned it for a touchdown.
Right.
So what happened on that?
Well, we didn't tackle him. That's basically what happened. Well, we had a gap in our kickoff team on the cover side of it, and it really started from an alignment issue. And I'm not going to get into totally all into that.
Gotcha.
But, and so we had a big area to cover. We didn't, and then he broke the first wave, and then he really made two guys miss. But we made a quick adjustment there, and it was pretty simple. Don't kick it back to him.
Yeah.
And change where we kicked the ball from to kind of shorten our kicking lanes, and then for the rest of the game we covered really well. So,
Coach, I remember whenever, first of all, we'll get to this in a moment, but the ball down at the 4-yard line due to the defense keeping them out on an initial drive, right? Yeah. I mean, it was literally inside the 1-yard line. So we'll talk about that in a few moments, but I want to go back to that play, that offensive play. So one of the first things that I said is I knew that it was a younger offensive line group, right? And I thought, gosh, let's just be conservative here and let's just kind of try to get it off of the goal line. And then you throw that play, and a part of my color was to Barry is, well, if you got a young line and you don't know if they're going to block well, how about we just don't block them and let them come and then just throw a screen pass up over the top of them, makes life really easy. So I want to go back to that group. So obviously it's what I played. You and I have had conversations at length about this. It's kind of
the stories get better and better the older we get.
The older we get, absolutely.
Right.
I'm a lot faster back then than I am now.
100%.
So with that being said, you have 5 individuals that have to act as one unit, right? And in this game, actually probably in essence 6 or 7 because you had a couple of them that got banged up during the game. So when you look at them together now with that group of 5 and then those 2 that kind of got plugged in and moved around, what is it that you've seen in the maturation of that offensive line from like when they came out of spring to the beginning of fall camp to where they are? I know they're going to make some mistakes when you look at game 1, but overall how they have progressed from spring to the end of game 1 coming into game 2.
Well, I think, obviously Kellen's here tonight and you'll get a chance to talk with him, but I think our leadership from Kellen and Bray with those guys has been really outstanding. So you've got – out of the groups that's playing, Kellen and Bray are the only ones that really have varsity experience.
Right.
So all the other linemen, Friday night was their first time, really, so from, Miller Deason, Logan Amick's an older player but didn't play a ton last year, Hunter Smith, you got Jace Cleveland's a freshman. I mean, you got a bunch of them, that haven't played a lot, and so they need good leadership. Kellen's done an absolute fantastic job with that group. He's their center, kind of quarterback of that group, and then Bray's, is playing the one tackle position, and so both those guys have done a really good job of encouraging those guys, teaching them, trying to set a standard with them. We don't expect that. We understand where they are, right, and so we're trying to make it, simple for them to where it really comes down to attitude and effort, and they can get that. But I think as they move along the year, they're going to get better and better. I think we got a chance to have a really good group up front. I feel like we got good skill guys behind them, and I think that helps when you're young, because sometimes you don't have to be as perfect. The skill guy can kind of make up for it.
Right.
If you're not real good at the skill position, then you've got to be perfect in the offensive line.
Right.
And so But the best thing is they're a bunch of really good kids. And, if they make errors, it's not due to a lack of effort, And so I think we got a ways to go in that group, but I'm excited about where they are.
Coach, to piggyback off of that, let's talk about your run game from Friday night a little bit. Ugensy Charant had a big night, and he touched the ball a pretty good bit. I think he was a little over, 30 times, a little over 100 yards, something like that.
I think it was 23 is what we had.
23?
Yeah.
But then you add Rich Revolton and Brant Sweat running behind that offensive line, like you talked about, anchored with Kellen over there. Talk about that run game, because it was much improved, I guess, from last year. We don't want to do comparisons to last year, but
we don't talk about the past.
We don't talk about
we
that.
don't make excuses.
No,
That's our
sir.
two things.
But the run game looked a lot better and looked pretty doggone good Friday night.
Yeah, I thought we definitely had flashes. What's up, babe? We had flashes from that side of it. When we got the ball on the edge, I think it's where we had more explosive plays. We were able to pitch the ball to Brant, several different triple option plays, and he was able to get in the alley. And then at times, we were able to get a little bit of movement up front. But I thought G ran the ball really hard. He had a lot of yards after contact. That was probably the biggest thing from him. But the way our run game is designed, it's not just about the offensive line, doing what they're supposed to do. It's also about the quarterback getting the ball to the right back. It's about the back understanding how to run his tracks and where he breaks it and reads it. It all works together. It's just like I was telling the running backs the other day. If linemen have a responsibility, but if you're off your track, the defense is reading it differently, right? So it makes it a harder block for the offensive line. So all the groups are working together. So I think that as each position gets better, our run game will get better.
I thought the play calling in the run game was really good. Like you said, mixed it up inside and then getting to Brant outside. I thought the coordinator did an excellent job doing that.
Yeah, I think our offensive staff does a really good job just working together. Sometimes it's players, not plays. It's trying to get the ball to the right athlete in certain situations. But when it comes down to situational football, it does become about plays, because you have certain things you want to run that you think helps you convert and get the ball in the end zone.
Talk about the second half. It's 7-7 halftime. It seems like something clicked at halftime. You came out second half and you really looked like you'd lit it up. The offense, defense both looked like a different ball team.
Well, we had blue Powerade at halftime. I think that was the juice. That's what got us going. No, it was really
never underestimate blue Powerade.
Yeah. It is the best. It is the best. We could do a commercial and get a little advertisement off that. But at halftime, the message is pretty simple. It was just, hey guys, we're in a good spot. We just need to finish drives. The big difference in the third quarter was field position. We won field position in the third quarter. Special teams played well, defense played well. So we had the short field. And that's what it comes down to. In the first half, we really didn't have field position in the first half, so we're having to drive it much further, and we're having some difficulty finishing drives. But second half, that kind of flipped. We won field position, and we're able to kind of get the ball rolling.
All right, Coach, we're going to take a quick timeout. It's Faith in Football with Aggie head coach Adam Weingarten. I got some players and defensive coordinator Tony Ford to be joining us in a few minutes. Come out and join us. We're going to be live here till 7 o'clock every Wednesday night. Thank you again to Allstate Insurance agent Miguel Corona, and we're at Papa Dubi's in Albertville. It's the Aggie head coach Adam Weingarten show right here on Power 107.5.
Has been providing prescription and healthcare.
Welcome back to Papa Dubi's in Albertville. Faith in Football, Barry Galloway, Keith Ball, John Gladden here, Chris Jenkins at home listening to the show. I think Coach Weingarten's going to have him some blue Gatorade and some boudin balls. He's getting ready for some Papa Dubi's. All right, we'll be joining with some of the players coming up. But first, defensive coordinator Tony Ford. Coach, hey, thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
So Papa Dubi's, has it become one of your favorite places here in town?
Absolutely. The mac and cheese with the shrimp, like that's good stuff.
So Coach Weingarten brought you here one of the first visits to Albertville?
When we first started talking about me coming here, this is where him and Miguel brought me.
Well, tell us about where you're from, Coach.
I'm originally from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Yeah. Then went to school at Troy University and I left Tuscaloosa, and I've been around the state coaching in different spots. Been at Auburn, Tuscaloosa County, UMS right down in Mobile, so we've been all over the place.
So what are your thoughts about Albertville so far since you've been here?
Oh, I absolutely love it. It's a great place, great town. Meet a lot of people who work here, who were born here. And that means it's a good spot because people come back here.
Coach, when you were quick question, this is a squirrel moment for it. So when you were at UMS Wright, was Phil Lazenby down there when you were at UMS Wright?
No.
Coach Lazenby?
No.
He was in Gunnersville. I know Coach Laz for a while, but so really quick question, or just my thought right out of the gate. I mean, obviously I got to come out to practices a little bit there in the summertime, and you would see me coming out there in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I loved was just high energy, high intensity, that you were trying to get that defensive group, whether it was getting water, whether it was grabbing up dummies, whatever it was. We're moving fast. We're moving with a mission, right? And so really enjoyed that. Last week, obviously the first drive as a defense coordinator probably not going the way you wanted it to go because they're camped out on our end zone. Right. But then all of a sudden your guys, turn in one of not 3 or 4 stops, right, on fourth down. I mean, just one of those things. Talk to me about your mentality with this group, not only your ones but your twos, your mentality going into what it's like to be a defensive coordinator and what you're putting on the field defensively.
Right. I think it would be highly misleading if I took credit for what's going on with our defense, man. Right. We have an incredible staff. Mr. Johnston, Chad Oliver, Jim Nilsson, Coach Collins, Pat Callahan, all those guys are incredible. They are head coaches of their position, and it shows. What happened Friday night was just a collective effort of everybody doing their job, and that's every day. Coach Juan puts us in these positions. Our practice schedule has us backed up on the goal line. Like when we lined up, like we weren't uncomfortable there because we've been there several times on that exact field, in that exact same spot in that end zone, and turning our offense away. Cam. Yeah. we've done that before. And so, our guys didn't panic in those situations. They looked at each other. They knew what we were calling. We called the exact same thing that we call in practice, and we executed it.
Now, when you're trying to, my bonus question, I guess, for that is, throughout the game, obviously, it's one of those hot human nights. You're having to sub. You're getting some folks banged up a little bit here and there. Talk about you looking at this group, like who your ones are, but then also those twos that you're bringing up into ones, or just as a unit, how you look at that player development aspect between your ones and twos on defense.
Right. And I credit that to the structure of our practice, the structure of our program. Like it's built in that our twos are going to get quality reps. They're going to be coached just like the ones are, because we never know when that time is going to come. Every day, twos work the same scenarios that the ones work, so it's not a huge drop-off from our ones and twos knowledge-wise. Ability-wise and age and strength, of course, because they're younger, but they know what to do given situations.
Right.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. Appreciate you taking the time to come out tonight.
Yes, sir.
Hey, one thing that I noticed from Friday night, the defensive side of the ball, was the way our guys got to the football when the ball came out of the quarterback's hands. We used to work on that a lot when I was coaching around here, and just rallying to the football, getting hats to the ball. Looks like y'all made an emphasis on that during practice.
You know what? Again, I would be misleading if I took credit for that. We had a spring practice at Sand Mountain Park, and we're playing against our offense, and I stopped the film, and I looked. It was 11 people in perfect pursuit angles chasing the ball. We hadn't done one pursuit drill. Like, it is in our boys to get after the ball, and they just do it. We've actually pursued the ball, a structured practice one time this whole time I've been here, one pursuit drill.
So those assistant coaches are really preaching that during group time.
I guess every meeting they're talking about it, because our guys, they chase the ball. Like, Like, I don't have to say chase the ball often.
You love to see it, man. And it goes down. It comes back down to effort, and everybody getting after it. And that was one thing. I only got to come up. John got to come up several times for practice. I only got to come up for one in the summertime. But one thing I really noticed, and it probably has a lot to do with the senior leadership, and we've got a ton of seniors this time, is the energy level. Energy level at practice. And the defense and the offense going back and forth at practice. Yeah. And that's just so good to see. And you don't have to coach that as a coach. That's good stuff.
Yeah, and that's on purpose. Like, that's intentional. Me and, the offensive staff, I tell them I'm going to get after them that day, and we talk a lot, and our guys feed off of it. And, sooner or later, the receivers are talking to the DBs, the O-line talking to the D-line, and it's just the whole thing. And we like it like that.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, here in a minute, we're going to speak specifically to Jude, and who had a great game. But I want to touch base on one that really came to mind, and I kind of got him, or we gave him, the player of the night, because it just seemed like every time that they went after him, he rose to the occasion, and he's a young buck, right, is Fisher Sweat. I thought Fisher did a great job on the back end. Love that kid. I think during the summertime he stays at my house so he can swim in the pool all the time, and he likes my pantry. He goes through the pantry all the time. So, no, but with that being said, just talk about just calling him out being, I think he's a sophomore, right? Sophomore yes. On the back end, but numerous times he was lined up against number one, and then they would do some shifts and move around. But to me, just you talked about a few moments ago, the knowledge aspect of where he's supposed to be, but then he met that challenge as a pure sophomore back there on the back end.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and some of the stuff, like we can teach them, but a lot of the stuff that's going on with Albertville football, mamas and daddies did it. Like this, we got some kids that's got some stuff inside, and I'm just really proud to be a part of what's going on. Fisher Sweat is a product of our coaches really pouring into them. Like, we have classroom time, we have walkthrough time, we have film time, and they're looking at huddle on their own. So all the stuff that we do, and it's repetitive. Like, we don't do a whole bunch of different stuff, and it's situational. So he knows what to do in any given situation, and we're there.
I got tickled when number one got frustrated with him. The number one guy, he ripped the ball away from him, and number one got up and was just mad. And I'm like, get him, Fisher.
And Fisher ain't backing down either.
Well, Coach, we got Jude and Cam here with us. Any other players after watching the film that caught your eye that you thought had a really good game?
Wow. I think, like I said, Jude led us in tackles. I think he had like 11 to 12 tackles, which is incredible at his position. Tucker Teat also, yep. I think he was double-digit tackles also. And I think, Jesus did a really good job of just getting us lined up and being in the right spot. And if you watch film, on number 8, Evan House made incredible plays near the goal line in the red zone, one-on-one in space, making tackles versus that number one that they had. And that was just huge for us.
Give us your thoughts on Hazel Green this week. What can we expect from them?
I think they're going to be a quality opponent. They have a really good athlete that plays wide receiver, running back, and quarterback. They move him around the field, and they really try to get the ball to him a lot. They're big up front, and I think there's some things that we can take advantage of, and They may be listening, so we ain't going to talk about those things just yet.
Yeah, Coach. Just going toward Hazel Green, talking about those guys. I've not got to watch a whole lot of film on them yet. But I thought defensive back-wise this past week, and it'll translate over into next week, thought your guys were where they were supposed to be almost all the time. There was a couple of reads they could see, and you got a guy like Fisher. He's younger. You also had a guy, Hardaway,
Matthias.
Yes. But those guys being younger guys to go along with these older guys, man, the future's bright right there for the defensive backs.
Absolutely. And, that was the first game of the season, and we didn't know a whole bunch about Bryant. We didn't know number one was number one. We actually thought somebody else was going to be their star guy. We talked about all week, and come to find out, like, he was their dude. And once after halftime, we talked about it. We made our adjustments, and that's what happened in the second half.
Well, Coach, Tony Ford, defensive coordinator, appreciate you joining us, and we'll let you get you something to eat. How about that?
That sounds good to me. Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll be talking to some of the players. Jude will be joining us, Kellen, and Cam will be talking Aggie football. Again, it's Faith and Football with Aggie head coach Adam Weingart. We do this every Wednesday from 6 to 7 here at Papa Dubi's in Albertville. And a special thank you to Allstate Insurance Insurance agent Miguel Corona. We'll take a time out, coming back with more with Coach Adam Weingarten and the players here on Power 107.5. And welcome back to Papa Dubi's in Albertville. Barry Galloway, Keith Ball, and John Gladden with us here till 7. Joining us coming up later on will be Lynn Darnell. I think everybody here knows Lynn. I've known Lynn for many years.
Good old Lynn.
We'll be talking more about the faith part of the show. But time now to talk to the players. We did this a couple of years ago. Some of the best interviews came from the players. We get some of, I found out all kinds of good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes about the coaches they may not want us to know about. First player up, Jude fan. Jude, hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
So when you found out that you were going to be coming tonight, were you nervous? Yeah.
Oh, I'm always nervous to talk on the radio, anything like that.
Well, John, lead the way. Let's talk to Jude.
So, Jude, obviously, senior year on the back end back there. One thing that I remember was running into you and your dad numerous times where you were headed off to some 7-on-7 camps and some things of that nature. Just talk about where you have seen yourself through your junior year, through those camps that you've been involved in with that travel 7-on-7 group you're with, and how that's improved your viewpoint, the way you look at things on the back end now and being able to look at what the offense is trying to do.
Oh, that's helped me a lot, especially with the pass game. It teaches me a lot. We did a lot of footwork drills. That's one thing I really need to work on. Reading offenses, everything. It's really helped me as a player read the offense, just everything like that.
Well, congrats on the win. After the game was over, you had time to think about it. If you graded yourself, say 1 to 10, 10 being played great, how would you say you did?
I'd say 7 or 8. I missed a few calls, but, that happens every now and then.
So what was your biggest highlight for you in the game, would you say?
I would say probably they ran a reverse back to my side, and I read it, and I came down and hit them.
So what's one thing you want to improve on from last week to this week?
I'd say just as a whole defense, just tackling the ball a little bit more. I think if we do that, they don't get as many rushing yards at all, and I think that's really going to help us as a defense.
I noticed that the other night too. There was a couple of times. I think it was definitely more than one time that they had ran some kind of little reverse, and you were really able to do a good job and read that, and you did a really good job on that. Talk about being a senior this year and kind of coming through the program and what it means to be a senior this year playing football for Albertville.
The past years have been rough, and I feel like as our senior group, that's
hey, tell like
no, that's legit.
Yeah.
It's a legit statement.
I think as a senior group, it's made us stronger, and we know what it's like to lose, and that makes us better moving forward. and we know what we need to work on as a senior group, and we're going to pass that down to the younger kids below us, and hopefully they can build up a program that's going to be best it's been in a long time.
All right, we'll talk about something not football. So what kind of music you like to listen to?
It really depends on my mood. I like rock a lot, honestly. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what about before a game? What do you like to listen to get you ready for the game? Anything you got a go-to song or two?
It depends on my mood again. Yeah. Last game, probably a little bit of rock, just hard rock that gets me pumped up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
11 o'clock at night, you're hungry. Where are you headed out to grab something to eat?
McDonald's.
McDonald's?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
All right. Who's your favorite athlete? Any sport. Could be any sport. Who's your favorite athlete?
Good question. Probably go Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, okay.
Yes, sir.
What about favorite movie? What do you like?
Interstellar.
Oh, wow. That's a thinker right there.
Oh, Kellen, so okay. So what about Hazel Green this week? Have you had a chance to watch film on them?
Yes, sir. I've watched a lot of film. I know they have one really good athlete. He lines up a quarterback, running back, and receiver. I think if we shut him down, we're going to be really good this week.
But you played a great game Friday night. Looking forward to seeing you this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining. Okay, who's next up? Is it Cam or is it going to be Kellen?
Jump Kellen in the hot seat.
Kellen's ready to eat something. He wants to get this over with so he can order. Joining us now, offensive lineman Kellen Hampton. Hey, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing good. Thanks for joining us. So what's your favorite kind of food? What do you like to eat?
Steak.
Steak? Okay.
Medium rare.
Okay.
There you go. That's how you're supposed to make it.
That's right.
So what you going to order here tonight? What you looking at?
Probably a steak.
Okay. Man, there you go.
My man just told you.
Well, let's go back to Friday night. If you had to grade yourself 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how did you think you graded out?
I'd say probably 7.5. I'm not gonna lie. I was going into the game. I like that first drive after Cam's touchdown. That second drive, I was gassed. I'm not gonna lie. So I had to tell myself, like, you got to get it together. You got to be out there. And going into the second half, I did much better. When
you walked out onto the field, the first time offense went out, how pumped were you? I mean, looking at the crowd, it's like a sellout crowd. That's had to make you feel good.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I was nervous because it was senior night, and then I had played on defense first on that goal on stand. I got my first snap on defense, and I was still nervous going into the game.
Yeah.
And then I heard that play, and Camden talking about, I'm going to score. And I was like, all right, you better go score. And then we're blocking. I'm running to go to the next level, and all I hear is a bunch of screaming. I was like, yeah, he's going to score. I look up, and he's running down the sideline.
So Cam called it. He said he was going to score. Is that right?
All week he was talking about
it. All right. There you go.
Well, go ahead, Keith.
Well, I was going to say, as an offensive lineman, when you just came off the field as a defensive lineman, you were pretty tired. You get up there first play, and he's running down the sideline. That got to feel pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Well, not only first play, but let's just camp out at the 4-yard line to start our first play, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to ask you the same questions that I asked Coach Weingarten a while ago. Obviously, an offensive line, 5 individuals having to work together as one unit. You and Bray, as I've talked about this, and even with you during the summer, right? You guys are the 2 that are coming back.
Yes, sir.
Got some older guys and younger guys in there, but overall, let's just say you got some young puppies in there. Talk about you as a senior, Bray as a senior, bringing those guys up, not only the 3 that are starting with you, but the other couple that we saw that stepped up there when we had some injuries, about that offensive line, and then the entire offensive line, at practice or whatever.
Well, for sure, with us being the 2 that has varsity experience, just bringing them up whenever we had OTAs and during practice, bringing them up, making sure they're doing everything good, doing all the right plays, trying to be leaders and stepping up for them.
Right.
What is something you want to improve on for this week's game?
The run game. I know we had a great run game, but also finishing drives. We had a bunch of drives we didn't finish. Finishing drives.
From seeing Hazel Green, what kind of defense do you think you're going to be going up against?
The same defense we played last year, 4-2-5. We're just they got a pretty good D tackle and a good edge rusher, so we just decided that we're going to go out there and try to hit them in the mouth, and we're going to run the ball on them good. And once they get hit in the mouth, they don't really like it. So that's the game plan.
John was talking about the offensive line, the guys beside you. Talk about just kind of focusing on a guy like a Miller. That's his first year. That was his first ball game at varsity level. Is that a guy you kind of got to coach him up a little bit when you're on the field with him?
A little bit. He has his times, but overall he's really good. He's really good about his assignments and stuff.
Good deal, man. Well, I tell you what, y'all are a couple of big guys out there. I know that. Really quick, talk about being a senior this year. You know, you guys have been through the fire like Jude was talking about. Talk about now you're the guy, you're the leader. What's that been like coming through fall and then summertime and then coming into the season?
Well, it's been great. We wanted to start it off the season. We wanted to get that first win because, I mean, I can't talk for Cam, but me and Jude, our whole time being at Albertville, we haven't had a home win, so we wanted to get that win, and we were very happy that we could get that win.
All right, so tell us some stuff about Kellen before the game. What songs you like to listen to get ready?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a quiet guy. I like to be quiet.
Okay.
I just like to be in my own head, talk to myself about the game and what we're gonna do.
So, what is your favorite kind of music when you're say away from this relaxing?
R&B.
Okay.
My old hip hop.
Hey. So what's your favorite food around here? What kind of?
11
I know you
o'clock
said
at
steak.
night.
Besides steak,
11 o'clock at night. Where you go? That's
Yeah.
what I asked you. Jude's going to McDonald's, so.
I'm gonna go get a Hut Brothers pizza.
There you
Hunt
go.
Brothers
Yeah.
Pizza.
Pepperoni.
Okay. All right.
All right.
What's your
Who's your favorite athlete in your sport?
Favorite athlete? I've always been a Steph Curry fan.
Okay.
Oh, Steph Curry. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's basketball. I don't know.
I love basketball.
All right. So what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I like Remember the Times.
Oh, good
That's a
movie.
good one.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
Can you beat your dad up yet?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say no on this.
Yeah, he's listening.
I'm gonna have to say no on this, but we always have a talk about it. And
Yeah. I got you.
Just remember, us
Just the
old
head
dudes,
nod.
we cheat. We don't fight
Oh,
fair.
yeah,
that's what he tells me all the time.
Well, Kellen, you're fun to watch. You're impressive. We look forward to seeing you play Friday night. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kellen. All right, the new man in town, here he is. Cam will be joining us, wide receiver, plays defense, Cam Ballinger. Cam, hey, welcome to Albertville. First time you caught the ball as an Aggie, what, 95-yard touchdown. How cool was that?
I mean, it was cool. I mean, I talked about it all week, kind of.
You kind of had to do it then, didn't you?
I did.
So as you're going down the sideline, did you ever glance over the shoulder saying, are they going to catch me if I got this?
I looked back like 3 times, I'm not going to lie. I was tired.
You were tired? Well, you didn't look like it. Nobody even got close to you.
Yeah.
Well, that was impressive. You had a good game. Congrats on the win, and great job Friday night.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
And we talked about it. You're probably the only guy in the history of Albertville football that caught his first touchdown pass on the first time he touched the ball in his jersey.
Man, that's cool.
So congratulations.
And for 95 yards.
Yeah.
So other than that, was there another play that that was one of your highlights of the night?
Man, there was a post I dropped. I really wanted to catch that.
Yeah.
But really, that's it.
So how would you grade yourself out of 10? 10 being played great, 1 through 10. How did you play in your mind?
I would say a 4.
4, really?
There's a lot of, special teams plays I could have done better. I mean, I didn't give 100% effort at times, but, I mean, stuff I can work on.
So what's the main thing you want to improve on this week?
My blocking.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Have you watched Hazel Green on film? So
Yes, sir, I have.
Defensive-wise, who's better, Paul Bryant or Hazel Green this week?
I don't know. They're both good at what they do, I guess. Kind of, they run a little bit different stuff. Hazel Green's a little bit more man, but we'll just have to see when we get there.
Offense, who looks better, Paul Bryant or what you're going to see this week?
Both of them had a really good athlete. Both of them were number 1 too. So
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, we'll just have to see.
So, Cam, last week, Huffman's able to go 293 yards passing, right?
Yes, sir.
So when I'm looking at this on Huddle, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, yay, in the fact that we have you and give me some receivers, other receivers. Brant Sweat.
Talik.
Yeah, Talik.
Fisher
and all,
plays a little bit of receiver.
exactly. So all of those guys, right? And forgive me that I don't have my roster. I have no idea where I put my roster. So with that being said, do you guys in your wide receiver team meetings out at practice, are you like going over to the OC? Or are you going over to your position coach and be like, Coach, you realize I gave up like 200-plus yards passing. Let's just throw the ball out there and let us do what we do.
I actually did not see that. To be honest with you, I didn't see that. But, I mean,
something for the morning meeting tomorrow and be like, Coach, you realize I gave up 293 yards passing.
Yeah, but, I mean, that also tells them what they got to work on for next week, too. So.
Exactly. So what do you like about this? So you came from Brewer. I'm very familiar with Brewer. It's where I was a teacher and a football coach before I came over. Actually, was living in Albertville. But anyway, you come from that program. You come to this program. Biggest change that you have when you come from that program to this program, and in a good way, I'm saying.
It's really just night and day change. Like the facilities, coaches, the community. Really, that's a really big difference in community.
Right.
After the game and everything. But that's really it.
How about looking up and seeing that big crowd on the home side? That's
The service was cool.
it looked good, didn't it?
It did look good.
I was going to say this. You talked a second ago about your blocking, and you might critique yourself. You might be a little harder on yourself. I thought there were at times that you were one of the best blocking receivers that we had on the field. You really, a couple of times you locked up a young guy across from you and worked him pretty good. Is that something you put a lot of effort into, is blocking?
It is. It's something I've really put a lot of emphasis on this summer, trying to build on that. I mean, that was my biggest thing I really feel like I needed to fix after last season. So, it's really just getting in shape for me, being able to do it 100%.
Yeah, you look good, really good at times, no doubt. And I'll say this while we got a receiver sitting over here, guys, and y'all can go back and think about it too. Right now, we may be as talented a receiver that we've been in years.
A while.
It's been a while. So between Cam, Talik, Brant, and Fisher.
It's pretty deep as far as wide receivers.
Yeah, we're deep.
Yeah, so it's good to have you here, man. So we'll talk a little bit about what's your favorite food.
I'm gonna have to go with pizza.
Is there a certain kind of pizza you like?
Pepperoni
Pizza
and
Hut?
bacon.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's my go-to.
If you had to pick with Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, who?
Pizza Hut or Little
Pizza.
Caesars.
Okay. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Before the game, you're minutes away. You want to hear some music. What's your go-to song? You got one or two songs?
Y'all probably don't know of the artist, but his name's Rod Wave. That's who I listen to.
Okay.
So,
What other artists do you like?
I mean, I don't really listen to a whole lot of music, to be honest, but yeah.
All right. What about athlete-wise? Any sport? Who do you like?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And he was fun to watch.
11 o'clock at night, you're hungry. So I got McDonald's and I got Hunt Brothers Pizza. Where are you going?
I'm going with Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
My man.
It's what I had today for lunch.
I did too.
Don't have a lettuce Thursday, okay?
No, I'm not having that all this week.
Yeah, no lettuce.
No.
Okay, well, favorite movie? What's your favorite movie?
I went and watched the Odyssey movie.
Pretty good.
That's a good movie. Yes, sir.
Well, you need to see Spider-Man. It'll
I haven't
fire,
got to see that
it'll
one
fire
yet.
you up. It's good. Well, Cam, it's great to have you in town. Very impressive, offense and defense. You look good Friday night, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Hey, looking forward to seeing you again this Friday.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, Cam. All right, coming up, we're going to take a timeout. Again, join us every Wednesday. It's Faith in Football with Aggie head coach Adam Weingarten. He'll bring some players with him as well as a coach. And we'll have Lynn Darnell coming up in just a minute. And a thank you to Allstate Insurance agent Miguel Corona and Papa Dubi's for hosting it. Come out every Wednesday. We'll be here live. Let's take a timeout. We'll have more coming up next here on Power 107.5. Albertville. We'll be doing this every Wednesday night, 6 to 7. Thank you again, Coach Weingarten, for joining us. I didn't mean to take you away from what are you eating over there, Coach?
I'm not eating yet. It's we got a little salad.
Yeah.
Salad, all the fixings, and so it's all good, man. Ready to roll.
Well, I think Coach
it's going to be the
Ford,
Cajun mac and cheese.
Well, Coach Ford's finishing it off for you right now. I hate to tell you.
Well,
no, but seriously, thank you for joining us. We reached out to you and said, well, would you be interested in talking Aggie football and being on a Wednesday night? Let's try something different, because last week Matt Brooks joined us for a few minutes. We were talking about on Thursdays, you like to take the kids to Life Point Church. Is that going to continue as a season, or what's going to be the plans for the team? Like on a Thursday, do you have a set schedule of the team? They do something special or anything special on every Thursday?
Yeah, so Thursdays we have a team. We call it team night, and so Life Point has been hosting our team,
right.
And they have a big youth area and those type things. And so we started doing this when I was coaching at Fairhope years ago. Just having a time of the week where the kids can just be kids. They can. There's no stress. It's not a big team thing, but they can just be kids. They can hang out and talk and play cards or play ping pong or whatever it is they want to do, but just be around each other. And I think that's really important that kids have that opportunity. When they're with us every day in the morning and the afternoon, it's very structured.
Right.
So the moment it starts, it's pretty much on a schedule, and they've got to be really locked in for that time frame. So they don't have a lot of time when they're with us that they can just be friends, and so we want that opportunity and try to provide that as much as we can throughout the week. But Thursday night kind of provides that, and our families are there, so our coaches' families, wives, kids, so it lets the players see the coaches in a little bit different light, and then they get a message from Matt, and then they feed them a really good meal. It's really important what a team eats the night before the game, and then I always talk to them at the end and give them a message to kind of tie up the week and what we expect on Friday, and they go home, And so, but we've been doing that for years. It's been really good. And on Tuesdays we have what we call the Care Meal, and we have several different churches and different community organizations that help sponsor it, that feed our team after practice on Tuesday, and the players are able to get a really good motivating or faith-based message on Tuesday as well. And so we try to find those points that we're able to do those things.
Joining us, special guest Lynn Darnell. Lynn, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Hey, thanks for joining us. From what Coach was saying, how important is that in your mind that we have a coaching staff, especially Coach Weingarten, who he really encourages kids to be part of something like that on a Thursday night?
Oh, it's incredibly important, because I did the math today. In 14 weeks and in 2 days, football season's over in Alabama. And then what? So if we can instill faith into them and the faith in Christ, that lasts for an eternity. So 14 weeks and 2 days, football's over in Alabama, but hey, Jesus Christ lasts forever. So what he does on Tuesdays and Thursdays is incredibly important to our players.
So what is football, do you think, has helped some kids, other kids, as far as life? Like you just said, there's more to life than just the wins and losses. Coach Weingarten spoke about this last week. Some kids may not realize this. They think they've got to win. It's like teams in the past went 0-10, but that's tough. But still, there's bigger things than going 0-10 or 10-0. It's what you do after you leave that football field.
That's right. We have tried to instill in our boys to focus on the Savior, not the scoreboard. But that can be tough, from time to time. So we have to refocus after every game, after every practice. And I think Coach Weingarten and his staff do a great job of instilling that part of it in the boys. We're very, very thankful for this coaching staff. Very thankful.
I just want to thank you for a second. Lynn, I've known Lynn for many years, and you reached out to me 5 years ago when my son passed, and I remember that. I still got the text that you sent me, and that meant a lot to me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It was just try to serve best we can.
You do a great job. John?
Yeah, Lynn, one of the things that you and I have had a relationship for a long time. We talk about football and just about everything in between. And, even the other day, what I love about you is I literally just picked up the phone and said, and you quote me of this, Lynn, I got a religified question that I need to ask you. Because it was just something I was just driving down the road. I get a lot of windshield time, and I thought, well, I'm going to ask somebody who does this for a profession if he's got a little bit better answer than I have. But, Lynn, one of the things that as a ball player, because we've all played, and even people that haven't played, I think will get this analogy. there's going to be wins and there's going to be losses, right? And I think today is a day where you might have a person listening to this broadcast might have had a great day, and today was a win day. But then there also might be somebody who's listening to this broadcast that this was just a terrible day. They got a bad diagnosis, somebody passed away, lost their job, fill in the blank, right, versus the other side of the spectrum. With what you do as in the, I guess, the clergy or being a preacher or however you say it, when you kind of correlate wins and losses on a field to wins and losses in life, kind of help me with God and Jesus and how that translates, I guess, from one analogy to eternity on this end.
Well, there's no doubt everybody has bad days. My boys come home from practice and say, hey, Coach yelled at me today. And I tell them, hey, I'm 53 and I still get yelled at every day. So it doesn't end. But there again, like we said before, the faith, the Bible says without faith it's impossible to please him. So we've got to have faith. We have to have faith. And it can't be, our faith can't waver just because we lose a game. Our faith can't waver because of our situation. It's got to be our Savior over our situation. And that's something I learn every day. It's not something that you just speak one time and move on. It's an everyday process. I believe salvation happens in an instant, but sanctification is a lifelong process. And we're still learning every day of our lives, every day.
Well, hey, preacher, good to see you. Now, Lynn's my preacher over at Sawtooth Baptist, and he has to deal with me every Sunday and then every Wednesday. I have to go to him a lot of times, and it's not exactly asking questions about the Lord and that sort of thing. It's, hey, we've got this situation going on and blah, 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 and all that good stuff. So good to have you here tonight and being in kind of a different light. Talk a little bit about Coach Weingarten and this program. You have two boys in this program. And what they're doing on a Tuesday night and a Thursday night, to me, it's just completely awesome.
Absolutely.
And to be able to get the kids together and have a good message. You got two boys in the program. What's that mean to you?
Oh, it's fantastic. And on Tuesdays, I think he spoke to this, he allows different churches to come in and feed the boys, and then we get to all speak and do a devotion with them. And then Wednesday night, he's very gracious to stop practice in time for the kids to go to church. And then Thursday, they're right back at Life Point for more fellowship and more Christian atmosphere and another message. So it's just fantastic. It's unmeasurable. It's just incredible what he's doing. Incredible.
Yeah, and anybody listening that their son's not in this program, we talked about it last week. This is a program you want your kid to be in and to learn and grow. Yeah. No matter how many times they get on the field and how many times they win a football game.
That's right.
This is where you want your kid to be.
Absolutely. All you got to do is go to a practice. Just go to a practice and see how the culture is shifted over the last couple of years. It's incredible. The energy, the excitement. We were able to do something for the football team last year, and every kid come off the field and either hugged us, high-fived us, and thanked us. That was wonderful. He's instilling the right thing, the right morals in these boys.
Let me ask you a question, Coach. You've been coaching many years. What about a young coach that comes in, maybe his first or second year? They've had a bad game, defense, maybe he's defensive coordinator, offensive, and he's kind of Monday back at practice, he's kind of a little down and out. What do you say to try to lift him up and encourage him and get him going?
Well, I think when you're a young coach, I think it's really important who you work under because that really gives you the foundation of who you want to be. And I was super blessed. I worked for a guy that really became a father figure in my life and did things the right way. And I'll call him the master of people. He was just so good with people. But I think it's hard. Early in your career it's tough because, success is important and it's what builds your resume, right? And this is, at the end of the day, coaching is a result-oriented business. It's much like a lot of other occupations. But I think the biggest thing is you got to always remind yourself why you got into this and take yourself back there. And I know that, I don't say the L word. I just say winning or not winning, but, I've never been that concerned with that side of this. I think my faith aspect really drives me to understand that, my purpose is to do the best job I can do day in and day out to help develop kids, make our program better, so that they're more productive citizens when they leave. And that encompasses a lot of things. That encompasses how you teach them how to compete, how to behave, how to be a team, and strive for excellence. So winning is very important. It's a big deal, but it's not something I think about. I think about my drive is to do the best job I can on a daily basis and let the winning and all that stuff take care of itself. But I think when kind of take yourself back to that, what your true purpose is and why you're doing it. That would be what I would, really remind young coaches. Because if you do want to be more successful, that's the only thing that's going to help you achieve that anyway, right? But try not to get too lost in it, just keep the main thing the main thing.
What about your coaching style? I watch coaches. I've played for many coaches. I've watched you last year and this year. I love the way when kids come off, maybe they've made a bad play, you motivate them, you grab them, and you talk to them. Yeah. I've had coaches who get in my face and scream and yell, and I've had coaches who do what you do. I would bust my butt more for the coach who do coach the way you do than the guys who grab me and cuss and shout at you. Yeah. I think it's the way do you have a way that you decided years ago that this is how I'm going to treat my kids?
Well, I don't think I was always that way. I think it's, there's a lot of maturity that comes with that. This is 26 or 27 years been doing it. So I think there's maturity you learn as you go from that standpoint. And, for a lot of coaches, especially young ones, they just coach the way they were coached. Yeah. So it kind of repeats the cycle from that standpoint. But, at the end of the day, we use the term be demanding and not demeaning. Accountability is nothing more than having the standard than holding kids to it. Right. And, you don't have to be a jerk to a kid to do that. It's really, if you do this is what you get, and do that, this is what you get. But especially as you get closer to a game, we're really big as a staff on celebrating good things, but teaching things we don't do well. Because confidence in this game is critical. It is critical, and especially young people. And, you get we have a lot of kids that are playing for the first time, so they get under the lights on Friday nights. I mean, I'm not going to say their head is spinning, but, it changes the thought process. It's easier to execute in practice than a lot of times it is in the game until you get enough experience. Right.
Well, real quick, I had my last year to be the head coach of junior high here at Albertville, my daughter had an accident in that May going into summertime. And if that would have happened closer to the season, I don't know if I could have coached. Kind of what happened, but I kind of made it a priority after that season to get to know the kids a little more. Don't focus so much on wins and not wins, as you call it. And that ended up being one of the better seasons, and we had success as a team as far as the wins and losses. But I love that part of it, that you're not that you're really making connections with the kids, and they're lifelong connections, Coach. They really are.
Well, I think the guys that are making the connections are the assistant coaches. Yeah. I think it's really hard, as the head coach of any time you have, it'd be like being the pastor of a church. It's hard to have a deep connection with every single member, right? So. What you're trying to do is really instill in how important it is for all your assistants to be that way and to be an extension of what we're trying to do. But to me, the head coach, they're leading the process that makes those things happen, if that makes sense.
Coach, going back to the final couple of minutes here that we have on the broadcast with you. And once again, thanks, Lynn, thanks, Coach, and the players and everyone for coming out. But once again, this is, it's your road trip, right? First road trip of the year. And there's a lot of intangibles that go on with the road trip. What is your thought process or does it change from a home game to an away game, just in terms of logistics-wise, obviously, but the way that you kind of prepare through the week or you coach through the week or whatever, just your thoughts on away game and this being the first away game, true away game of the year?
Well, it's kind of, we've talked a lot about, you think about in the medieval days, if somebody wanted to expand their kingdom, they had to go on the road. Right. You couldn't just hide your castle. Like, you had to go on the road and take over another territory. And that's kind of what it is. Great teams go on the road and they're able to win and have success, and that takes a focus. But to be honest with you, playing on the road, it really eliminates a lot of distractions, because you have a home game, you got a lot of things going on, all day at school, then, family and everything leading up to the game. So there are a lot of times it's harder to be focused at home than it is away. And you get them on the road, you kind of eliminate a lot of that. But our kids are excited, about this game. So I think we've had a good week of practice. The process of preparation isn't really different. It's just a matter of talking to the kids, to them to understand, that there's going to be a change of venue and what to expect as we do that.
Lynn, one last question for you. From going back to the beginning of summer with this group of young men, the coaches and the players, what have you seen as a parent of a player and this being around the program? The kids growing as far as what, not just on the field, but off the field. What have you noticed?
Oh, absolutely. My boys have grown definitely physically. You can just look at them and tell they're grown physically, emotionally, spiritually, mature-wise. I have no doubt that my boys go anywhere. They say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. They answer to me, then they answer to coach. and he's instilling that into them. I'm incredibly proud of the maturity of the entire football team. Incredibly proud.
Some of the players who may be listening to this, what would you say to them if they're having, a tough day today?
John 3:30. That's very simple. He says, I must decrease and he must increase. It's not about me. Never about me.
I tell you what, Brody Darnell played a pretty good tight end spot last week. He did a really good job blocking, did an awesome job. So really excited to see him out there. He's such a good kid. I mean, been around in the last couple of years. Him and Hayden both really good boys. So he's. I got 2 daughters, and one of these days, he's one of those guys you want to kind of, hey, come over here, come to the house.
We're playing matchmaking now.
Yeah.
Well, they're a little
football, faith, and matchmaking.
I tell you what, as a dad of 2 girls, trying to find somebody to marry them one day, that's going to be tough. So you got some good boys.
What I have to watch when your boys are around and fish or sweat, if I turn my back, them jokers come up and tackle me from behind because they've known me for so long. So you talk about putting your head on a swivel. I'm the dude who's at practice with my head on a swivel.
Well, Lynn, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Well, Coach, thank you for the time.
Yes,
I hope this worked out well. I know you got dinner waiting on you. Good luck to you Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Again, join us every Wednesday. We'll be here at Papa Dubi's in Albertville from 6 to 7. It's Faith in Football. We'll be back on the air coming up on Friday night as we travel to Hazel Green. Don't forget, tomorrow night we're going to be live at Boaz as we're bringing flag football with the Aggies and Boaz both playing Grissom. So until Friday night in Hazel Green, for Keith Ball and John Gladden and Barry Galloway, and have a good night, everybody.